All right, everybody. I'm super excited. Today, we have someone I am blessed and honored to have on the podcast today. So she grew up Mormon in Utah, like a lot of people that have been on this podcast. She opened a restaurant. She started an OnlyFans. I know you all have all the questions. She sold everything she owned. She took her kids and traveled the world. I don't believe it was in that order. We'll get into that. Bethany Teeples is here today, and she's going to share her whole story, answer all the questions we want to ask, because I know if you guys are anything like me, you want to know like what's happening in that world of life, right? So how she got here, what it cost, what it gave back. This is the Law of Cassidy. So welcome to the Law of Cassidy, where we talk intimacy, business, power, healing, and the conversations that most people are too uncomfortable to have. I'm Cassidy, entrepreneur, mom, wife, and someone who has spent the last almost 2 decades talking about taboo subjects with intimacy, health, sexual wellness, all the things. If someone sent you this episode, you're in the right place. Let's get into it. The vain ones, welcome to the Law of Cassidy. Bethany, I'm so glad you're here.
I'm so excited. Really,
I know.
Honestly. As soon as I heard you were doing a podcast, I was like, oh, I'm so excited for her. She's going to do amazing. So when you invited me, I was really honored.
Yes. And I'm like, we were talking before and I was like, we've known each other for 15 years. It's kind of
crazy.
I
know.
That's like what party was it at that I met you for the first time ever?
So the first one would have been in like 2011, 10-ish when it was online. Yes.
Okay.
I think you guys did you start dating then?
I met him in 2012.
So maybe around that same time, because I think you were dating but not married.
Okay.
But I can't quite remember. But it was an online party first. So like the party got canceled. So you did everything online. So I joined the online. And then a little while later, my friend Jill threw a party in Orem. And I went to Jill's party and met you in person. Yes. And that was the first time that we like connected in person. And then after that, like our paths just kind of kept crossing until I was doing waffles.
And then she like catered all my stuff.
Yes, it was so fun.
So good. Okay. So we normally warm up with a little rapid fire. So I like my guests to learn a little bit about you. So it's going to be random questions.
Perfect.
So current location in the world, where are you right now?
So we are in Arizona, just outside of Phoenix area.
And you're good with the heat?
I love the heat. I bake me like a potato. I'm so happy there.
I'm the same way. Sometimes I'm like, why do I live here? But I did pick up skiing 2 years ago.
Oh, we just did too.
And I mean, I didn't ski this last year because there was no snow and I'm not going to ski on ice. But I'm like, this is kind of fun. You have the right gear. It's not bad. But
well, you learn to appreciate technical gear, right?
Yeah.
But so I've got 3 kids and they all just picked up skiing. And I think you and I were like the only girls who grew up in Utah who never tried.
Yeah.
And so then in our 30s, it was like, well, here we go. And actually my kids, they are crazy good skiers and we love it. But yeah, you learn like, oh, technical gear, this is not as miserable as I anticipated. Yeah. I don't want to be in the snow if I'm not playing in it.
Yes. And Josh was a snowboarder. And so he was like, I'll learn skiing with you. So we were learning together. So
oh,
that was kind of fun too.
That is way fun.
And we had a great nanny that taught Joey how to ski and she just has thrived and loves it. So amazing. I think it's good we start them young. Okay. Best country you've been to so far?
Okay. So this is totally loaded question, which is unfair because there's no way to compare ruins to beach cities. I do come alive in the water. I love the water.
Yeah.
So Croatia has a special place in my heart because the water there is incredible. Yeah. Like you can see like hundreds of feet down. The water's warm. It was phenomenal. That was the last country that we were in before we bought our house in Arizona. Loved it there. However, like my heart really is like France has my heart. I love it in France. I know they get a bad reputation for being mean or whatever, but I love how upfront the French are. Mm-hmm. Like they're actually not cold at all. Well, so it's like this in Utah, especially. People are super nice to your face, like, oh my gosh, hi. And then they get to know you and then they get really cold, right? Mm-hmm. The French are the opposite. Up front, they're kind of cold. Yeah. They're waiting for you to prove yourself. And then once you get to know them, they become the warmest, most giving people in the world. And so I absolutely love France.
Okay, Casey's going to edit this and she's going to thank me for doing this. Play this with your hair.
Thank you.
You're good. You're good? Hold on. Let me see. Good. Okay.
Bless you.
You're going to be like, God, my hair's poking up and she didn't tell me. Okay, so back to it.
Wild
okay.
One after the car.
So I did not have the same experience. He'll cut it out. He's good at that. I did not have the same experience with France. When I went to Paris, I was like, never again. I actually felt safer in Cape Town, South Africa than I did in Paris.
You know what? That actually doesn't surprise me too much, but let me ask you a silly question. Where in Paris did you stay?
I was in like
like
by the Eiffel Tower.
Yeah, that's the problem, right?
Yeah.
So like it's the same as going to Manhattan in New York. Like you're in like the biggest city in the world with like the craziest things, and like they know tourists are there. It's easy marks for safety, whatever. I would 100% agree with you. Though the most unsafe I ever felt in all of our travels was in the United States.
Really?
By miles.
Where?
Wisconsin. Well, I have a friend who lives outside of Milwaukee. We went into the city to like explore and stuff, and we got rerouted on the way home because the freeway had an accident. So we went through like the hood, and it was one of those like, maybe let's unlock our gun cabinet in the truck because like it was sketchy.
It was like when I drove through 8 Mile in Detroit.
Exactly. Probably the same vibes, right?
Yeah.
Like we have been in 20 different countries, and that was the most unsafe we've ever felt.
Interesting. Okay. Most underrated thing about travel nobody tells you.
Travel isn't just about experiencing other people's culture. It's about learning who you are. Okay. Right. My sense of self was definitely developed as I traveled, and I watched the same for my kids, because every time you're greeted with a new culture, a new custom, a new religion, you're forced to like internalize how you feel about it. And so without even realizing it, you're making lifelong decisions on different scenarios. So like we were in Egypt during Ramadan. And so we're explaining the customs of that to our kids and stuff. And then it makes you be like, okay, this is similar to growing up Mormon and fasting. Why is one of these seen as like, or people who do Lent? And so you start looking at like comparing these people who we were taught are like so different and horrible or whatever from us. Like when you're among them, you're forced to realize like, no, people are genuinely good and stuff. And as you accept that, you learn more about yourself.
Yeah. I was shocked when I was in the Vatican in Rome, and I was like, I think Catholicism is stricter than Mormonism. Like I was like, this is crazy. Like I learned so much, but I was like, I think it is. Like there's like so much to it.
Yeah,
like,
it depends like if you go buy the book or not. Same with Mormonism, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I was like, wow, I learned
there's
so much. Learned so much. Okay. Best meal you had anywhere in the world?
Ooh. This is unfair.
Sorry. Do you want me to tell you mine first?
I'm afraid if I tell you, my husband will kill me because he won't agree. I'm just kidding.
Oh, I was like, why?
No, like, tell me yours. I want to hear.
I had a gnocchi in Rome next to the is it the cathedral? Is that what it's called? Colosseum.
The Colosseum.
I think.
Yes.
I'm so terrible. Everyone's probably laughing.
I mean, I'm sure there is a cathedral
like
there.
Hit my mouth and melted like butter.
Isn't it amazing when you try something like that and you're like, we've had a knockoff version. It's the worst.
So good. And then you eat gnocchi here and you're like, yeah, hard pass. Yeah.
Okay. So we're not like fancy food people.
Oh, okay.
We are street food urchins when we travel because I feel like that gives you a really good idea of the culture and stuff. So this sounds like so dumb, but one of my all-time favorite food memories in all of our travels, there's a neighborhood up around in Paris, up around where the Moulin Rouge is, right?
Okay, yep.
So right up there is my favorite place. They have the best macaroons in Paris, in my opinion. So we pick up macaroons, then we go across the street to the butcher, the fromagerie. You pick up baguettes, and you learn how to know which baguettes are worth buying and which ones are not. There's a lot to learn.
Okay.
So we bought everything for like a picnic and then walked over by the Eiffel Tower. So we're like sitting, viewing the Eiffel Tower, but it's just like a really simple baguette, really good cured meat. My favorite cheese there, which has like mustard seeds all over it. And you like spread out your little sandwich, like hang out by the Eiffel Tower. Kind of. Yeah. And like make your little baguette sandwich. And it's like euphoric for me. That was one of my like favorite food memories. And then on stark contrast, Romania has amazing food. They know pork like you would not believe. And Lance and I went to like the oldest brewery in Europe, or maybe it's only in Romania, but I think it's one of the oldest ones, and gorgeous building and everything. And their food there was absolutely incredible. Yeah. I really loved that. So
Romania. Isn't that where Dracula's from?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah. We learned all about it.
Cool. Okay. If Utah people used to be connected to in Utah, or maybe still are, maybe they still follow you, maybe they unfollowed you, I don't know. I deal with this too, so we're on the same page there. Could see you right now, what would they think?
I've been super lucky. I have a good mix of people in my life. My circle is large. I am a loud person, so I make lots of friends. There's a great divide between people who are scoffing and can't believe that we were friends and think that they never knew me at all. Like they must have just misjudged, who have cut us off. And I get it. My lifestyle definitely clashes with their beliefs. Yeah. So I don't blame them. I've been on both sides now. And then I have a large circle of friends who are still very active in the Mormon lifestyle and stuff, and who realize that I'm just a safe place. I'm not judging them for anything they're doing. I don't care if they disapprove of what I'm doing. Even we don't have to talk about it. That's not who I am. It's just something about me. So we just avoid it, and that's fine. But like at my core, I've never changed. I'm still the same person. Yeah. I'm still the same mom that I was before I started OnlyFans. And so half the circle is like, please don't tell anyone we were ever friends. And then the other ones are loud and proud. They're showing up on my Instagram commenting, and I appreciate them so much.
Yeah. There's definitely people like that. I've been through my fair share of people like that. I'm like, oh, girl, you're preaching to the choir.
For sure.
So take me back. What did growing up Mormon in Utah for your family dynamic look like?
So I am 5th of 10 kids. There are 8 girls, 2 boys in our family. And on top of that, my grandfather was a spokesperson for the LDS Church, like the media liaison for some 40 years. President Hinckley would call up at Grandpa's house while we were there. So with that, we had very close ties, and as things would kind of evolve, like we had a mix of 1960s Mormondom and 1990s Mormondom kind of mixed together. So we had definitely a more strict, by the doctrine of the church, this is the rules.
Did you have to wear your church clothes all day on Sunday?
We didn't do that, but you weren't allowed to watch TV. Yeah, we had cousins who did.
Yeah.
My family didn't. But also when we got home, my dad works in healthcare, so you don't get Sundays off, right? And so when we would go to church, then we come home and dad would put on his scrubs and go to work. So it was like once dad put on his scrubs, we'd all get changed.
Okay, that makes sense.
And so growing up was very strict. At the time, I didn't really have a whole lot of problems with it. Like, I didn't mind the things that my mom was really, like, pressured us girls. There were silly things like, you can't leave the house without your hair curled because your job is to look cute and innocent and blah, blah, blah. And until I became a teenager and kind of started pushing back at that point. Yeah. So, great relationships in the church growing up. I didn't have, like, anything that offended me that pushed us away or anything. But fundamentally, as an adult, you realize, like, I have some problems and, like, there's no way I can be proud of who I am as a female and strong as a female and stay in this circle. Yeah. Those two things clash.
And I've seen both sides of the spectrum. Like, I'm really careful about name dropping on here because I've dealt with awesome people. There's my whatever. It's my podcast. I say what I want.
That's right.
If you're listening, you got the issues.
The eye roll is at you.
Dude, you have no idea. I'm like, what? Anyways, but I have a neighbor and she is the sweetest, most genuine human. I doubt she even listens to this. Whenever I tell her I talk about her, I just say, I don't say your name.
Right.
But her whole profile and like social presence is just about God and Jesus and like her strong core beliefs in the church. And the reason I love her is she's like, Cass, we are like polar opposites and she still loves me for who I am.
Which is how it should be.
This is a thing.
Yes.
And she like loves Jesus. I mean,
and it
she's
doesn't
like
hurt.
reading scripture on TikTok and I love her Jesus stuff and she loves my sex swing stuff.
I love it.
And our kids play together and I'm like, it's possible. Like you do not have to be a complete asshole.
No.
And cut people out of your life who have poured into, sorry, I'm venting.
Listen, I'm trying not to cut you off and be like, amen.
But it's just sad to me because I'm like, you all have kids. Therefore, you all had sex. Therefore, you all needed lube. You probably bought something from me at some point. Like, it is wild to me. And I'm like, I'm a great mom. I'm a great friend. I'm a great business owner. Like, and I just love people like my neighbor because she sees me for who I am. And she's just a wholesome, kind, genuine person and sees what I'm doing as helpful. Like, I'm sorry. I don't really love walking into a sex store because they're not really helpful, right? I had to go in because I was doing a live shopping thing and I didn't get from my people the right lube. And so I just was like, I'll
grab it.
So I just went and grabbed it. And these girls at the shop were like, oh my gosh, I follow you. Like wanting to talk to me. And I'm like, they look to me as no shame on them, but it's like.
They're learning about their own job from you.
Exactly. And so it's like, that's what I'm doing for people. Like I'm helping people and I'm guiding people and I'm like my DMs, I'm sure yours are too, are loaded with questions. And I'm going off on a tangent. We'll get back on thing, but I'm just here to say, like, two can be the same. You can have someone who doesn't believe what you believe and doesn't live a life that you live, and you can still love them and treat
100%.
them kindly and respect them. It is possible. And I know some people that I don't know how, in what shape or form can't. It's wild to me, but I'll pray for them.
Well, I think the more you meet people like that, you realize, like, I don't know. I don't want to say I feel bad for them. They have beautiful lives. That's not the point. But it's hard when you know that if they're cutting you off for something you're talking about, it's probably because it's an issue in their own life, right? Like if it's a female who's like, well, Cassidy talks about sex and we don't listen to that, so we don't listen to Cassidy, that would be bad. It's like, well, it's probably someone who goes home and goes, I don't enjoy sex. I don't like that my husband pushes me. I don't like that I feel stranger in my own body. And so it's more about that than it is about you, right?
Yeah.
So
sorry, I went off on a tangent. Back to Bethany.
Love it.
I always love it because I'm like, I'm sure they listen and they're like, ugh. And I'm like, what are you mad about? Because I was kind to you and you were shitty to me? Weird. Okay.
What are you going to do? Tell people how nice I am?
I know. Okay. Was there a version of your life that was already mapped out, like marriage, kids, community, faith, and you were just following it?
Oh, yeah. So
I love that you were like, yes, there was.
Obviously. There's an expectation, right? And you don't bring shame to the family of like, you get married. So like even education and stuff, my parents didn't push a ton. Like we were required to do well in school. I actually loved high school and all of that. But then it was like I had a full ride I had a huge scholarship to Weaver that I walked away from because one day I was like, nah, I'm done with this. Yep. But my parents were super supportive of that. Like, great, go get a job till you find a husband. That's fine.
Because the top priority is to find a husband.
Yeah, I don't need to do anything besides have babies. So like go find a man, right? I'm sure my mom was also excited that I was out of the high school scene so I could leave my high school boyfriend behind, but that's a whole other thing. So it was find the man, get married, have kids, raise them in the church. Maybe one day, if you work hard enough, and you support your husband enough, you'll be able to make enough money that then you can go be mission presidents and you could take your kids on missions with you. And that's not necessarily just from my parents, but like the whole of my Mormon upbringing, right? Like my sisters would be like, what are you talking about? But like your ward makes a difference, your neighbors make a difference, and that was the plan, and this is how you be happy. Follow this. Then something snapped in me one day and I was like, hold on a minute, maybe not. And maybe that was just meeting Lance because our personalities are very strong together and we get each other in trouble, like a lot of trouble.
Because the next question is, when did you first start feeling like the map didn't fit? And it's when you met your husband?
Well, even then it did. He's a returned missionary. You know, his family's super active. I love my in-laws. I have the best in-laws in the world. Like super lucky there. So I graduated high school early, started selling cars at 18, and I met Lance at work. And here's this like great guy. We got along. Our sense of humors were super fun. We worked together for like a month, started dating, got engaged after 2 weeks, got married 6 months later. Oh, wow. So now,
Utah.
Yeah, right. And so that totally follows the Utah plan. Here you found a good, strong priesthood holder. Yay, you're following the plan. So we kind of always talked about having a lot of kids. I had a big family. He's from a big family. After my third, it was like very calming. Like, no, you're done. Like it was just like the best. I'm so grateful. Like washed over me. Like, enjoy this. That's your baby. Yeah. And that's when I started taking heat. Like, how dare you stop? Like you went through hell getting pregnant, right? Like it was awful. I didn't have any of that. My pregnancies weren't that hard. My babies were pretty easy. And so I was like, well, why would you stop if that's the
I dealt with this with why do you just have one?
Right. And so at 3, it was like, you don't even have a good medical excuse. What are you doing? And so I took a lot of heat from different circles. And like, if you can have kids, why aren't you? And what else are you good for? What are you supposed to do if you don't have more? And like one day all your kids are going to go to elementary school. And then what are you good for? It was like, the vibe.
Waffles, bitch.
That's right. There's people to feed. Hello.
Sorry. We'll get there.
I love
like
it.
The first thing I was
totally.
like, you changed the world with waffles. Okay. So were you always entrepreneurial or did that come later?
No, I always have been. So yay, Utah for letting kids work entirely too young. My family owns a restaurant in Murray, it's a drive-in. And so I grew up working at Woody's and I loved it. Woody's Drive-In.
That's so fitting for both of us.
Right? So my maiden name,
Sorry, family.
My maiden name is Wooden, so Woody was like the
that.
nickname for the uncles growing up in high school, and so that became the restaurant. So we all worked together, worked with my cousins. It was great, and so I watched my uncle be like the first example in my life of a really good entrepreneur. And he had his kids, you know, in playpens in the back while he's flipping hamburgers, and I remember thinking, here him and his wife, like they're one of my favorite couples in the world, flipping hamburgers together, and they're still doing it. Like I went and saw them today doing the same thing 30 years later. So that was kind of the first example. Then I got into sales. I remember like cinnamon almonds in the mall.
Dude, I love those.
Okay, so Totally Nuts, the company, like brought those to
Totally
Utah.
Nuts?
I worked for them. Yeah.
Dude,
so
what's
Woody's
with all
and
this?
Totally Nuts. Listen, Utah has some suppression problems, okay?
I'm like, why do we keep going with all this sexual innuendo? I worked at a place called Woody's, and then I worked at a place called Totally Nuts.
Bound for porn.
Sorry.
No, don't worry. We joke about it all the time. So when it comes to like having a pretty thick shell actually as to like sexual jokes and things like that, at 16 when you work in a mall and you're selling nuts, you would not believe the stupid jokes that like teenage boys think that they're super original. And so for 6 Christmases I'm selling in the mall
these nuts,
every single nut joke you could possibly imagine. And so you learn like, okay, whatever. So worked for Totally Nuts. And so my boss there is like a huge credit to my sassy personality. I adore her. Yeah. She made me a lot of who I am outside of like my immediate family. So those examples really started me off on the entrepreneurship. Sales is kind of like that in general. Like you did sales for years. If you can do sales, you can kind of push
conquer
yourself
the
to
world.
do anything. Yeah. There's a reason why there's more millionaires in sales than anything else. Yeah. So yeah, that led me to waffles. My husband served his mission in France, and we got married.
These are the best waffles.
And
she
I know
told
people
me she was gonna make me some, and then she's like, I looked, and then I gave up. I'm like, okay, well maybe.
I know. I felt
like
bad.
Sometimes at Christmas time, I'm like, can I pay you? Will you mail me waffles? It's like people like asking me for feet pics. I'm like, I need your waffles. They're so good.
We should see how they mail. We should try it.
I know. Well, can't you?
I mean, I'm sure
you
you
put them in a
could.
cooler. They mail fish and
It's the same
shit.
as bread,
right?
Yeah.
Okay.
You don't even have to keep them cold.
I'm gonna ask her for waffles.
I know it sounds crazy like waffles, but real Belgian waffles from Liège, this city in Belgium, have sugar pearls in them. They're like
Chunks
a
of sugar.
dessert, and
So
they
good.
like melt perfectly. And so they add like this perfect crunch. They don't need toppings, but hit them with whipped cream and strawberries, and it's heaven. So my husband was like, I had these on the mission. Like we grew up good Mormons. We learned how to cook, right? Got to learn. And I'm a pretty good baker, if I do say so myself.
Excellent.
So my husband was like, you can figure this out. Let's make them. So we spent like 6 months goofing around with waffle recipes, and then finally decided to take our poor asses and buy real sugar pearls, imported pearls. Like, holy crap, we've done it. Yes. So we opened a thing in Provo Farmers Market like 2009.
You started in the Holy Land.
Oh yeah. So
okay.
2009 we ran the farmers market.
Okay.
So he was working full-time job, I was working full-time job. Friday night we'd pack the car, we rented a commercial kitchen, set up, spent all day Saturday at the farmers market. I was pregnant by the end, so I'm like, go puke in the corner, come back and sell waffles.
And then we'll get there. I'm getting ahead myself. But when did you get to the restaurant? Was it?
So that was 2009 we did that. From there, my husband was in car sales, and I started catering for the dealership. So it started out as like, I'll take them into your buddies at work. Like I always loved an excuse to go see him at work. So you show up with food, and then nobody cares that you're there was like the excuse. And I like feeding people. And pretty soon it was like, hey, the GM was like, could you make enough for all of us? And at that point, that's like 150 waffles. Yeah. So that kind of got me into catering. I did catering for a while, and I didn't open my first store till 2017.
Yeah, she catered for me. My girls loved it. We loved it.
She'd come
and do my
Those were my favorite
retreats.
events.
Remember when I was pregnant and so sick?
Oh yeah, I was so worried. I was like, why in the hell are you here?
Yeah, I had pneumonia. I got hospitalized after. That was terrible.
That was rough.
Okay.
Yeah.
Focus. Sorry. Yeah, that was rough.
But that exact event was a huge part in like shaping how I feel about women and myself as a female, and got rid of a lot of my insecurities. That like there was a night we were all in the hot tub. You'd gone to bed sick, and we were playing a game.
Oh no.
Please do not hate me if you were part of this hot tub. I'm not trying to rat you out, but we did like say one word for a story, right? The story goes around the circle, and you could only say one word at a time. And if you fumble, and if you fumbled your word, you have to remove part of your swimsuit. So like pull a strap off, undo it, whatever.
Yeah.
So by the time we're in this, 20 minutes, there's 3 or 4 girls who are naked in here. A bunch of us are topless. Some of us have
I
half
never
a boob
participated
out.
in this. I was asleep and pregnant.
I'm like, in the back of my head, this good Mormon mom thinking, I'm not sure if I should be here or not. But at the same time, like the other like little angel on the shoulder is yelling like, pay attention to this, because there are things that I was self-conscious about with my own body, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like yes, I do OnlyFans. It's not because I think I'm hotter than other people, right? But as I was sitting in this hot tub with a bunch of your girls who were so sweet to invite the caterer into the hot tub with them, I realized like one girl like pulls off her swimsuit and she's like, you guys, I don't want to show you. Like I have an inverted nipple. I can't do that. 6 other women in this 30-person hot tub go, oh, so do I, and pull them out. And all of a sudden this thing that she's like so nervous about is, no, there are a ton of other women in the same boat. And so it was actually like, I went home from that event so excited because your girls are awesome. I loved catering for you. I love feeding people, but I was so energized and like confident in myself after that. Like all these things I'd nitpicked, nobody else noticed. And the things that you notice, like nobody cares. It's not that big of a deal. So
yeah. And I think that is something that I do miss about that dynamic, but then it also like were some of the best moments in that dynamic. And then a lot of people kind of like at those retreats, right? Like everyone kind of just like levels themselves out and like, this is such a weird reference, but I reference it to this country and how the world was after 9/11 and how united this country was.
Yep.
I know it's not the same, but it kind of is.
Sure.
Especially in that world and dynamic. I had so many amazing women that like would let their guards down and connect and, you know, support each other. And I think it's like this in life too. I think we forget like that there's real connections and we're real humans and like you can connect and you don't have to be competing and you don't have to be jealous and you don't have to be insecure and you don't like, we all have shit, right?
Yep. I think you and I both very much agree. Like there's enough to go around for everyone. There's no reason to not support someone even in the same field as you, because there's always enough. Like, and I think that scarcity mindset creeps up on people without them recognizing it, and they start fighting. And it's like, did you forget what we were? Yeah. Like this was such a beautiful thing. How are you not remembering how awesome this experience was? Yeah. So, so I did catering, opened my first place in Farmington with Waffled, and then soon thereafter moved to Station Park with our second location. So I juggled 2 locations. I had about 23 employees at the time. Learned a lot about myself through that process.
Dude, employees, that's rough.
Yeah. So I only had 1 employee who was over the age of 18.
Okay.
So it's all teenagers.
Fun. I remember once we went there and I was like, why are you working? You're like, everyone's at prom.
Yes. So the deal was like, if you want to keep good employees, like good employees are good students and they're popular. And guess what? They want to go to events. You tell them no, they'll just quit. Yeah. So like that was the deal. It's like, I will show up for you guys if you show up for me. And we had amazing relationships. Some of them I'm still friends with. It's weird watching them grow up. Yeah. But I loved managing that team. Yeah. Which was probably my only real holdback in starting OnlyFans. Like the only thing I really wrestled with was I don't want these people who got to know me or their family to be like, we let you work with a whore.
Or yeah.
Like, how dare you? And it's like, that wasn't part of my life back then. I didn't really recognize how I felt about a lot of things. And, but that also kind of ushered in my leaving the Mormon church, is because I have to work Sundays and I'm not going to tell my employees they did. So for the first time in my life, I missed church. Okay. So, I realized like the sky didn't fall.
You're still alive.
Could you imagine? And that's when you start, the analogy of like putting things on your shelf. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So for anyone who doesn't know, like as you have problems that come up in like the Mormon religion, you like stow it away on a shelf. Like, I don't want to think about it. I won't worry about it. I don't have answers. So you put it on the shelf. And at some point there's so many things on the shelf, it comes crashing down. Mm-hmm. So that's about the time my shelf really broke. But here I am married to this great guy who's an active member. He's teaching 8-year-olds in primary. I'm not about to tell him that I am the devil and I don't want to go anymore. So I kept it to myself. Really? And I started researching during sacrament meeting and stuff. And anyway, long story short, we decided we're going to sell everything and move.
Okay. Yep.
We had a friend interested in buying the business. We were at the point with Waffled where it's like, at this point we reinvest, go really big, or we need to sell and focus on our kids. Like they're growing up fast. What do we want to do? A friend mentioned that they had their house appraised in our neighborhood. When we found out how much it was worth, is like, hold on, then what's our house worth? How long could you goof off with zero income just using the savings or like the money from the house. And this is during COVID, right? So houses are going for crazy.
Yeah.
We got so lucky with the timing. And luckily for me, I don't have to convince my husband of much. He's always just like, okay, whatever. So like we went from like one night laying in bed being like, we could sell the house and go goof off and live in a trailer for a little while, to like 2 weeks later being like, well, let's sell the house.
Yeah.
Like we had a huge literally sold everything that didn't fit in our 30-foot trailer, 36-foot trailer.
It's crazy.
People thought we were nuts. Maybe we were.
I think I thought that too.
It's okay. I didn't expect people to understand. I just didn't care.
You didn't care. I know. But I remember that. And then you had like your last party there.
Yeah.
I remember at your house.
Oh yeah. That was super fun.
We moved in here at that same time.
Yeah.
And I remember like when I tell people what we built all this for, they're like shocked.
Yes.
And I'm like, we literally, the time
got in right before.
Perfect.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So with the appreciation on the house and stuff, my husband's great at managing our finances, Jay, for us. So we bought a trailer and took off. So that's when we decided like, hey, if we're going to go, do you stay in church or not? So that was like the final straw. I was like, hey, this is a clean break. And he came to me and was like, I don't think this is true. And I was like, oh, I'm so glad you said that. Let's talk.
Okay.
So we actually were out for about a year and a half before I started OnlyFans.
Okay.
So it was a while. I did not start OnlyFans and flee Utah because of embarrassment, contrary to popular belief.
People said that?
Listen, I've had all kinds of questions. I had people ask if we traveled the world because I was meeting up with dudes. Like, listen, I've been married to Lance for 18 years. I've been sleeping with Lance for 18 years. I'm not interested in sleeping with anyone besides him. I'm wholly obsessed with the man. I'm sorry if that just ruined it for you because you're following my OnlyFans. But we all know, like, we can sext and have some fun fantasies. But at the end of the day, there's only one co-star on my page, and it's him, right? So people say all kinds of outlandish things to try to make things make sense. And it's like you're saying, like, not to say people are jealous of my life. I don't believe that. But if you wanted to take your friends or your kids all over the world and here you're watching us do it, it's easy to be like, well, it's because her sugar daddies are paying for it.
Dude, those sugar daddies are not real.
Which I'm excited, Jason. They kind of are. They paid for subscriptions. But
I mean, the ones that are like, I want to be your sugar daddy.
Yeah,
I'm like, 5K. And then they're like, I'm like, dang it. Or they ask for feet pics. And I'm like,
did you misunderstand the assignment? No.
Yeah. I did make remember that funny video I made that I was like, okay, sugar daddy, show me your reel. And I put my Venmo. Mm-hmm. I got a week's worth of coffee.
Shut up.
I know.
I've always wanted to do the like buy me a coffee thing because I could go for that.
Yeah.
Okay. $5.
Back to the OnlyFans because that's so crazy. Like, were you just sitting there on I know everyone wants to ask. Like,
okay. So here's.
How does it start? What does it lead into? Like, because I know there's people that are like, oh, I don't show my face. I show my face. All the things.
So when we started out as a family, we were running a family YouTube of like, you can travel the world and it doesn't cost as much as Disneyland, right? Like get out of your house, whatever. So we end up in Mexico for 2 months living. Fuel got too expensive. So we kicked it out abroad because it was cheaper than hauling the trailer around. So we'd gone coast to coast and stuff. We're in Mexico and I was just doing reels on Instagram on my personal page of like, here's the place we're staying, and then really showing like my sisters that were like, well, we want to see what you're up to, and like, here, I put it on Instagram, you can see it all there. So that's where it started. But I'm like filming from our private pool in a bikini in Mexico, right? And all of a sudden my views start kind of picking up. Weird, I know, right? And I hadn't thought about it at all. It wasn't a thing. So right about that time, Reels started like a bonus program with Instagram with Meta, and so it was like, if you can get 10,000 followers, you can be on the paid program. And I was like, hey, we're homeless and unemployed. Let's take some extra income. So like my first goal was get on Reels bonus. So in a month I went from like 900 followers to 10,000.
Okay.
That was the goal, but I have all day to make content in Mexico. So it kicked up there. But then as a blonde with big boobs and freckles and green eyes making content, you get DMs. Do you have an OnlyFans? Do you have an OnlyFans? So it never crossed my mind before that.
Dude, do you know how many of those I get? But I don't have one, everyone. I don't have one. No shame on her.
No, it's cool. It's not for everyone.
Because I've had the hardest like year of my life, and I've had people like
that's what they want.
Say like, oh, she's on OnlyFans, and I'm like, I would not be working. I would be on a yacht if I was on OnlyFans.
Well, if you know how to do OnlyFans and get yacht money, then we need to talk because I'm not there yet. No. So we do. I started like joking around like, oh, hey, like we weren't desperate for income. So another like contrary to popular belief, I did not start OnlyFans because we were destitute because we sold everything. Like we were doing fine. Yeah. We were having a great time. And at some point we figured we get 2 years of travel. We'll go back with our kids, get a normal life again. Like, yay, America, you can start over whenever you want.
Yeah.
I started thinking about it kind of as a joke one night. And I decided as I'm deconstructing Mormonism and what I was told that my body belonged to someone else and that my shoulders were causing someone else sinful thoughts, and that my dress at church was too tight, and somebody was looking at me, and that's my fault.
Your fault, yeah.
Right? I was really breaking down all those things at the same time, and I thought, you know what? Can we say that F word on here?
Yeah, it's explicit. You can say whatever the fuck you want.
So I was like, you know what? Fuck this.
Yeah.
I'm done being told that my body and me using it myself with things I'm comfortable with is somebody else. Like, I'm not responsible for someone else's decisions. And so it actually wasn't about making money. It was about proving to myself that, like, I get to own my own body.
You wanted that, like, empowering
Yes.
moment.
And I know that people are like, OnlyFans is not empowering. How dare you?
For some people,
but
it's
like, listen, if peeling an apple correctly made you feel empowered one day, who am I to tell you that it's not?
Right.
Like, OnlyFans for me was very empowering. But my amazing husband, I went to him, I was like, hey, I have this idea. So, listen, I love you. Our sex life is really good. Do you want to share it with other people maybe?
Yeah.
So, anyway, I started. Luckily, he's like, listen, it's your body. I support you. He's like, I don't necessarily want you to have, like, intimate conversations with other men unless I know about them. So he has my logins. He looks at my page. He reads through all the DMs. Sometimes I'm like, I want to say this. Does that sound dumb, right? And he's like, helpful.
Yeah.
So
he's like do they know this? I feel like we're sharing your secrets on
he's my co-star on all the things in sexting as we message and stuff. Like, yes, he sees all of them.
Okay.
So with that, that was the boundary. Like, okay, we had rules in the beginning, which have since gone out the window. Some of them, like, things we will not show. And then 3 years in, I was like, so remember that one thing? How you feel about it now? But, same thing. You realize the sky's not falling. Things don't matter. Like, it's not that serious. I do believe strongly that two consenting adults doing adult things are between those two adults. And adults talking about adult things is about adults. I think it's imperative that we guard children from that.
Yes.
So I have 3 kids. The biggest judgments I get about OnlyFans always come back to them. My 16-year-old daughter knows what I do. She will likely listen to this podcast with me because she has questions, and we are very open. But she is also young enough. She doesn't know what she doesn't know.
Yeah.
And we are keeping it that way. My job is to guard their innocence as long as humanly possible.
As you should.
So homeschool definitely helps with that. I do homeschool all 3 of my kids. And so my 12 and 14-year-old have no idea. They know I have an Instagram page. They don't know what's on it. And they don't have access to social media because there's no reason for them to. Yeah. So that's the judgment we get the most is like, well, what about your kids? So I go to Lance. I told him that's what I want to do. We set the rules. I started out the page and started. So anytime someone would like message on Instagram, oh, do you have OnlyFans? I would DM them a link.
Okay.
And
do they allow you to do that?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
In DMs. You can pretty much send anything.
I get bashed and cut off left and right. So I'm like, what are the policies on that?
Well, ask me again in a month. It might change.
Okay.
So
story of our lives.
Right? You just go with the flow.
Yes.
It blew up.
Okay.
I was not anticipating
When you
that.
say blow up, what do you mean?
I mean, I made more money in my first month on OnlyFans than I had made in like a year of income previously in other careers.
That's why I tell people that say that I was on OnlyFans, bitch, I would not be working this hard.
Well, the hard thing is too, and this is where it gets crazy, is there's like the novelty of it being new, right?
Okay, yeah.
So like, funny enough, my first month I didn't show nudity. It was fucking lingerie pictures.
Okay.
And I'm making like tens of thousands of dollars on lingerie, which I could never do again, right?
Yeah.
Like at some point you evolve. At any rate, all of that gets picking up. That is able to fund our life. So yes, we did go to Europe because that paid for it. Okay. We would have still been traveling the US. We probably wouldn't have gone so far abroad. That led my family, which is easier to keep my kids separated from it, right? Because we're not in circles of people who are going to find out and say something, because you're in a country where no one speaks the same language as you. True. So not that was the intent, but it was nice. And I've always wanted to travel. So OnlyFans picked up. We're doing really good. My husband is a champ. When I look back at the first stuff we filmed, I laugh my ass off. It's so raw and definitely amateur. But that's also what I kind of wanted to bring to the space. Look, I know I'm not an 18-year-old. I know I don't look like these girls. Yeah. I am wrinkled and freckled, and I've had 3 kids, right?
People are into that. Like there's
but there's a space for it. There's an ass for every seat, right?
Different strokes for different folks.
Fun stroking. So it is difficult because it is not just make a page and you do OnlyFans. That's not how this works.
That,
so this is the biggest misconception. Yeah. And I just talked to a friend about it because she's like, well, I kind of want to do like Feet Finder or whatever, but like, how do you do it? But again, before I ever started OnlyFans, because it was months of back and forth talking before I finally pulled the trigger on it. Before I started it, I'd built my Instagram page was at like 75,000 followers, 60 or 70.
Where are you at now?
So by then we were camping outside of Bryce Canyon.
Okay.
And so my account hit 50,000 and just like rocketed. It was like 50, 55 in an hour, 57 in another hour. It was, so like we were in a place with no service and we'd drive out to the main road and I'd like post a video.
You're talking Instagram or OnlyFans?
On Instagram. Okay. But then at the same time, I'm responding with links right then. Yeah. So
that's why I say I'd be on a yacht because the amount of Instagram followers I have.
Yeah,
I'd be on a yacht, people.
So here's the misconception. OnlyFans, I was looking at the numbers. There's like 4 million people who look on OnlyFans and like 377,000 creators, roughly, as of last year. However, with that, the average OnlyFans account makes less than $100 a month.
That's wild.
So it's
and they got all pissed at MLMs.
I know, right?
It's the same shit.
Honestly, I don't understand it.
Sorry. So it's true. Like they'd be like, "Oh, you guys are giving these claims," and I'm like, "Same shit's on OnlyFans."
Yeah. Well, the hard thing is like the ones making the most money, the top 1%. They're everywhere. They're huge creators. They're in porn and they have this, or they are legitimate movie stars who also have a fan account. Right? Yeah. They are making big money, and it is their full time. They don't have anything outside of it. Right? So like the gap in that is wild. So yes, there's great potential to make big money there, but you have to drive your own traffic
when you're a content creator,
right?
So you can't just post a pic,
right?
Like I would guess
you have to send DMs.
I'm sure you have to respond to DMs. You have to. I'm sure you have to create stuff. Don't people ask you to do stuff and you got to like do like?
Yeah. So some people do customs. I have customs open. I've had some I've said no to. If you want to hear some fun stories.
What are the weirdest custom things you've been asked?
Okay, so
I know you all want to know.
Listen. If you're into this, I have no shade, but I knew I couldn't make it without laughing. And I'm not about to laugh at someone's kink, but I knew I couldn't do it. Have you heard of gigantism?
Where you're like a giant. Yeah. Did you watch Euphoria?
I just barely started, and I was like, I can't believe I said no to this and watching. I started it, yes.
Because Cassie gets on OnlyFans. Her name's Cassie. Yeah. Josh loved it because, he always has a crush on Sydney Sweeney. He thinks she's just the greatest. But yeah, and there's like a video of her. And she's like outside this giant building, and like the guy's like, okay, so yes, I know what it is.
So when they had the request, I didn't even know what it was.
Okay.
Like I have to like go Google. What is gigantism?
So how do you even make that?
Well, so you're supposed to do like you use like it's more changing your point of view with your camera, right? So you have like a glass tabletop, for example, and you put your phone down under it, so you look like you're stepping on the little man with your phone.
Crazy. Dude, that's so funny you say that because the only reason I know about it is because of
the
Euphoria.
And again,
I didn't think it was real, but it's real.
If it turns you on to look up the skirt of a 25-foot tall woman, that's totally cool. I just can't do it and be like, "Oh yes, baby," because sorry, no, I would crack up. So there are things to say no to.
Weird. Okay.
I forgot how we got off on this
another
tangent,
weird like custom.
Just weird thing. So I have customs. You do DMs. Most of your money in all of the platform of OnlyFans, most money is made on PPV or pay-per-view. So either paying to sext or paying to open videos. So if you got on my page today, yes, you will see my boobs. You'll see pictures, whatever, but there's no videos on my page. Okay. On top of that, I also do pay a company to scrub the internet from my stuff. So the only place that you should be able to find me is on OnlyFans.
Well, that's cool. You're protected.
It's not just protecting myself, but it's also protecting my kids. Yeah. But it also protects other kids. This shit should not be online. Pornhub should not have a place where you can Google and see live porn. Sorry.
So one of the people who cut me out of their lives said that I put them on my OnlyFans. And I was like, I don't have an OnlyFans. One.
How's that possible?
And I was like, can you please share this with me? Because AI today, if there's a fucking fake one, I have a daughter and I would like to know. Right. And it was like, well, no, they never showed me. They never proved it. And I was like, you're a shitty human.
Yeah.
Like, do you know how many fake accounts there are of me?
Oh, me too.
On Facebook,
100%.
on Instagram. And I'm like,
yes. I found out today my name is also Patricia.
Oh, hey. Yeah. I have people running ads with my videos and making money to their website with my content.
So shitty.
It was a problem. I'm like, one, I don't have one. Two, if there is one, please tell me. And then I was just told, it's not that big of a deal. I brushed under the rug. It is a big fucking
Yes.
deal. I mean,
and it's taking money out of my pocket. So tell me right now.
Well, and if I didn't agree to it and someone's using my likeness to make money, that's where you agreed to it. Different. But I also love that you're protecting yourself. Like, that's awesome. I didn't know that was even available.
Yeah. So like the firm that we use is amazing. They've done great work. And so you will see, like, if you Google like Bethany Teeples nude, it'll pop up in video results. But when you actually click on them, they're not mine. They're using my name because I drive traffic. But that goes back to the original. Like, OnlyFans does not drive traffic for you. You will not find someone on OnlyFans by scrolling for like,
it's not like a TikTok.
It's not like, hey, friends you may know, you want to add them, like Snapchat style. You have to know what you're looking for. So
like
people have
agency.
So I have learned a shit ton of marketing on Meta's platforms while dancing the line of being appropriate, because at any point some kid could open up. So on my account, I do have under 18 blocked. Yeah. Because again, I think it's important. Like I know that people think I'm just have no soul anymore, but I do think it's important to protect innocence, right? Yeah. And so I have that blocked. If my daughter makes new friends, like obviously kids aren't going to put their real age on their Instagram account. I will immediately find as many of them as I can and block them. We try to keep that very separated. And outside of that, my Instagram page is to drive traffic to OnlyFans.
Makes sense.
So I try to balance it enough to have my own personality, because yes, I'm on OnlyFans. Yes, I absolutely love fucking Lance. And that is like, if you want to watch, I'm doing it anyway. So
here you go.
Pay me. I don't care. And that's kind of the point. Is like, the industry exists, right? Yep. These people are paying. But here's where I have a problem with people's judgments against it. I understand that women especially have been incredibly hurt in relationships where they were betrayed by a man looking at porn that they didn't want them viewing. That's a very serious thing. Yeah. There is also a divide of, it is not my fault as a creator that your relationship had a betrayal, because the betrayal line in every relationship is different. I have a ton of couples that follow me together. They watch our content together because porn can be an exciting part of foreplay. Yeah. And people are unimaginative, or they don't know that much about their bodies, and it gives them ideas. So whatever it is for you, I think, especially growing up in Utah, I was raised with this idea that every person watching porn was some creepy man sitting in a basement, cheating on his pregnant wife upstairs, being a total dirtbag. Like, that's who it is.
Well, these men think they're addicted. I remember having a conversation. Sorry, Josh. I know you won't care. But having a conversation with Josh when we were like dating serious, and he was like, I have a porn addiction. And I was like, what? And he's like, I have a porn addiction. I was like, what do you mean? And he's like, I go, how often do you look at it? He's like, I don't know, a few times a month. I'm like, that's not a porn addiction.
You want to know a funny fact?
Porn addiction is when you are not going to work.
Correct.
You are not showing up as a significant other. You're not helping with your kids. You're locking yourself in a room watching porn all day. Yes. That's a porn addiction. I said, let me change your way perception. Of thinking. You're a dude.
Yes.
You are visual creatures.
We are sexual beings.
Yes. And a lot of women, and here's the other thing where I have an issue. I'm like, don't tell your man he can't look at porn sometimes, but you're over here reading every smut erotica book.
Ding,
it's
ding,
the
ding.
same thing.
Yes.
I mean, and I love my smut. Totally. Right? I love it.
Totally.
And it helps with my libido. It helps a lot of women. But it's the same thing. And stop telling men, hate me for it, stop telling men they're addicted to porn. There are people who are addicted to porn. That is a very serious thing.
Absolutely.
But I hate that this culture shames these men for being men.
Well, so you want to know a funny story time about this? Yeah. Once upon a time, a BYU student did a study to try to show the detriments or the effects of porn addiction. And in his study ended up instead proving exactly what you just said. That is not an addiction when you remove the shame. So in cultures where there's not shame around porn, suddenly no one's addicted to porn. And that people who self-reported as addicts always had a guilt, usually driven by a religion, and that guilt because you are at odds with what you were told you're supposed to do and something you're doing, that's what you're feeling. You're not feeling addictive things. It's not lighting up the addictive centers in your brain the same way that actual addictions do. And it actually disproved his own original thought.
I'm here to say open communication is top priority.
100%.
I also am here to say it's okay to sit down with your partner and say, listen, I see you, I trust you. You know what I mean? Yeah. Me and Josh have a very open, I think it's a healthy part of being a man. It is. Yeah. He just has all his fun own videos of me now, which is fine. Yeah. But I'm not on OnlyFans. Let's just disclaimer, I'd be on a yacht. But you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's something fun for our relationship. Like, oh, here's a fun, little picture or video of me or whatever. But I hate that because I think so many men are suffering in silence and they think something's wrong with them. And I'm here to tell you, you're just a man.
Well, and it sucks too for the men who were told they're not allowed to look at porn. Their wife would leave them if they did. Yeah. And also she's using sex as something to hang over him. Like unfortunately, too many women, especially in the culture here, feel like it's a tool that you can use to get what you want out of your man. And if you withdraw it or like, well, fine, I'm not sleeping with you, instead of realizing like, no, this pleasure is for two of you. This is yours. Why aren't you owning the fact like I have never withheld sex from Lance because that would mean I'd have to withhold it from myself. And that is not fucking happening. Right. Yeah. Like,
but the more sex you have, the more you enjoy it. And I think that's probably the bubble you're in right now.
100%. We're there. And then you get more ideas. So it's a hard thing because I know that people are like, well, so you're just helping dudes cheat on their wives. But like, okay, let's look at another scenario. I am not 18. I'm 37 years old on OnlyFans. Guess what? My clientele is not a bunch of 20-year-olds, right? And they're not a bunch of like young guys. I have a fairly older clientele because they're not interested in young girls. That would be creepy. So here are guys who have this sexual need. You have a need to release. It is what it is. It's biological, right? So you're telling them that they can't look at porn because that's bad and it's evil and it needs to end. But the alternative is you want them going to hit on girls at a bar for a one-night stand to get that because they don't belong in a bar hitting on 20-year-olds at 55, 65, 70 years old. But if they can get online, find something that they feel like fulfills that, log in, take care of business, and log out, I don't understand why we have a problem with that.
So I'm going to flip this on its because I have a lot of the same... It's so funny because the way I talk, people are probably like, she's on. Guys, I'm really not on OnlyFans. I should be, maybe.
If you did, I'd make you come like do a pillow fight with me because we would rock.
No, I'm not, guys. No, my mom's gonna be like, what? No, I'm not. No shame. I'm not. But I'm saying I have a similar dynamic, but it's people love my content because it's safe.
Yep.
They can take my videos and they can send it to their wife and their wife isn't feeling like they're looking at something.
Correct.
Not that that's bad, but like, I think that's why I've built the community and the trust where I have, where they come to me in their DMs and they're asking me these questions and I'm helping them because it's like this end of the spectrum or this end of the spectrum. And there never is this. And I feel like even though you're over here and I'm over here, you can still be here and I can still be here.
100%.
Right? Like I'm sure you have a lot of genuine, real conversations with subscribers.
Oh, I have
and
phenomenal
you thoroughly enjoy helping them with their relationships.
Yeah.
But you're over here and I'm over here.
Correct.
And we're
100 miles apart.
100 miles apart, but we're technically kind of doing similar things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Lord's work.
Amen. Okay. So I have questions. We're just going off and I'm like,
I love it.
I should focus on
Sorry. My bad.
Okay, this is gonna be a long episode. Sorry guys. I'm asking you all the questions.
Chatty.
Okay. Biggest misconception people have on what OnlyFans actually is.
Okay. So OnlyFans is not a dating site. I am not there to build relationships with other
husband.
people. I don't know. Like, even though reverse, it's not polygamy. What is it? Polyandry is for some people. It's not for us. I don't need more husbands. I am not OnlyFans 24/7.
Yeah.
It's something I do. And yes, I promote it on my Instagram page because I have to drive traffic to it. Now, tomorrow, like we're doing well enough, I could walk away from it and that would be fine. I don't have that like shame around it. So it's kind of like, well, why would you? Yeah. We're having fun. And it's been super fun for our relationship. Yeah. So what we heard all the time when we started is you cannot run an OnlyFans married without it ruining your marriage. I cannot tell you the number of people who, with the best of intentions, would write us letters or let us know.
Letters?
That we'll just leave it at that.
Okay.
I know who they are. We'll write us letters that you are doing something terrible.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And it's hard because, especially for people who are super close to us, who should know us better than that, to see like clearly our relationship is not struggling. So that's part of it. The other part is thinking that like I have this, I don't know if it fits under this question even, but I hate when people think that Lance pushed me to do anything. This was my idea. This is something I wanted. And I have a lovely man who sees me as a person and not as his object to control.
Yeah.
And I love that he always says like, every guy wants to date an OnlyFans girl. And then when someone actually does and marries them, like, why would I not be proud of that? He's like, he would tell everyone if our kids weren't involved.
Your husband's ever tried to, I just know both your personalities, and I don't think you've ever let your husband try and control what you do. Like,
you know, bless his heart if he ever does try. It ain't gonna go well, but we don't have to. Like, we work. He's been like, that's why we got engaged after 2 weeks. It just worked, right? Yeah. And because he respects women, which I know people are like, you let your wife do OnlyFans. How does? And it's like, no. He's not insecure. He knows that, like, at the end of the day, it's him I'm sleeping with. It's him I'm raising my kids with. It's him I have a life with, and there's nobody else I want to spend my time with. Like, we're good. Yeah. And I don't need people telling me that that's going to ruin our relationship. I'm like so exhausted by it.
Yeah. I had a question and it just pieced. I was going somewhere. Have you ever had a moment where you are like, ooh, that's too far. I'm uncomfortable.
We outlined our rules pretty early on and what we would do, would not do. I know one that comes up a ton is like backdoor play is super popular, and there's like things that are between the two of us, and there's things that will go on camera, and those are not the same things. Actually, that's a huge part of the misconceptions with the last question is just because you see our sex life online does not mean you see all of our sex life.
Which,
right? Like,
understandably
the real intimate moments, like, you will never see that part of our relationship. But I do try to keep our porn, like, that's a weird thing to say out loud, actually. I try to keep our stuff very real. We are a real couple who actually like each other, who want to sleep together, who like exploring each other's bodies together. And I want other people to see that that's okay. And that in a relationship, and I don't need 15 other guys to do that. Yeah. And we keep it very real. And then there are things that, like, I haven't really run up across like, ooh, we've hit the line, because we established the line a long time ago and we don't flirt with it.
Did you originally start with your husband involved?
So my first couple months was just pictures of me in lingerie.
Okay.
The first custom I sold was a picture of my boobs.
I love it. It makes you giggle.
I actually go because I'm so appreciative of this follower, and he's still a follower, and we've made a great, like, this has been years now. We get to know each other. I have so much respect for my subscribers. They are phenomenal people. They are so kind. So here's actually a huge misconception is like the creepy dude. I will tell you, the worst, most degrading comments I have ever had directed at me as a female come from Instagram. Never once from OnlyFans. Never once.
Oh, they're bad on Instagram.
They're so horrible.
Yeah. But you build really, like, the flight attendant that stopped me, gentleman, early 60s.
Yeah.
Cassidy, I follow you. I love your content. Like, you know what I mean? Like, these are real people. These are, you know, and
and they recognize that you don't see them as a threat, right? And so you can really build like a friendship. And I'm pretty real on there. It's probably not always sexy. I'm actually horrible at playing sexy all the time because, like, listen, I'm showing up the same person in every space all the time. Yeah. But that also drives a lot of like long-term followers that have gotten to know
because it's authentic.
Who we are. Right. Yeah. And so yeah, but no, they're way nicer than people think.
Weirdest thing you've had to do? You said nothing was off the table.
You're going to think this is the dumbest answer ever. Are you ready for this?
Yeah.
Listen, I have a secret fear that somewhere this footage is like out there in some like grade B movie. It's worse than sexual. It's just straight up embarrassing. Okay. I have done a video for a follower who paid me to act out a scene. He gave me a script.
Oh my God. This is so fun.
Of like being a scientist who was being chased, and they found me. They were going to see all of my lab work, whatever. And then I was just like dressed in professional clothes. Like I was dressed the entire video. And then to run up and go, oh no, they found us, and I had to hide the stuff and then pretend to get shot, fall on the bed and say, I'm done for. What? Which, like, listen.
How much money did you get for that?
Oh, I don't remember. This was forever ago.
Do you ever open them and be like, what?
I kind of, listen, I sell old stuff too, because like you have new followers who haven't seen certain videos. And so I send it out. And so like I'm rewatching some of my old stuff recently because I had like an Instagram video blow up, which always brings new followers. So as I'm going through to find them what content they like to send them in a PPV, I'll find stuff and be like, oh my God, I made that. This is one that I'm like, again, fully dressed. There's nothing sexual. I pretend to get shot. And and it's like, that's there in the world somewhere. I don't know what this guy did with it. I don't think I want to know. Please tell me I'm not in a sci-fi video somewhere as a horrible actress.
Do you want to hear my crazy story of something that I put out publicly that I didn't intentionally put out publicly? So I was just wrapping up. Like I needed to get videos done. I had just worked out. So I put the door swing on the swing. I had shorts on. It was summer. Do my whole thing, right? I don't wear underwear. TMI. I don't wear underwear.
Overrated.
Okay? So these shorts were like, they had like a liner, but they were like, you know, like the Free People short with like the big. Yeah. Okay. They're kind of flowy, but they have a liner, right?
Totally.
Posted the video, went on with my day, mom life, swimming, whatever. Okay. I get on and I'm like, oh my, because when you have a video moving, you're like, I have a video. And this was not on OnlyFans. Is it sad? I have to give this disclaimer. This was on TikTok. Okay. So video's moving. And I was like, oh my God, I got one going viral, right? I'm having like, and I can tell because like she pushes people to OnlyFans. I push people to my Shopify, like, cause I sell all the products. And so like swing. I'm like, oh yeah. Cause you know when one's peaking. So I go to look at the video. And I was like, I didn't even notice it in the video initially. I was reading the comments and the comments were like, we saw the slip. Thanks for the lip slip. Yep. We could see your lip. And I was like, what? And so I look and my mom.
Everything out there. You know
I had a friend, which the sad thing is she's no longer in my life. But I had a friend be like, listen, you should be a model for Haley's clinic because your laser looks amazing. Top tier. I'm like, oh my God. So then I like show it to Josh and I'm like, is it bad? Because you don't want to take it down because it's making traffic. and Josh goes, babe, that's really bad. Take it down. What if my mom sees it? And it was not intentional, like at all. But it was like full on.
Shut up.
My labia to the world for an entire 8 hours. I had a $4,000 day.
Excellent. Okay, I'll make you feel better about it though. Yeah. So I just posted a video 2 days ago. I was telling you, climbing a fence at a ball field. So like my boys play baseball, a ball gets stuck up in the top, but it's like a game ball. So it's like not expensive or anything like that, contrary to people's stupid comments. But the kids who win, like if you have a good play, you want to take the game ball. At 12 years old, this is important. And let's be honest, I think climbing the fence is kind of fun. I've saved a few foul balls in other seasons, whatever. So at the end of the game, I'm in shorts. I have a full bodysuit underneath my shorts, okay? Everything is tucked. I climb the fence. I get the ball. I throw it over. I climb down. I get down and realize Lance has filmed the whole thing.
Of course he has.
Because
it's Lance.
He's such a good supporter. And he's like, here, I got your content for the day. And so I like watch it. And like, admittedly, I think my ass looks pretty good in it. But you see a little bit of cheek. Like my cutoffs are not that short. But at that angle, they get a little shorter. But then you get all the comments like, nice roast beef, or like way to like flash all of the kids, or like now every boy there can't stand up for the next 10 minutes or whatever. And it's like so annoying because it's like people will say that they saw everything if they didn't. So like you have to really go like zoom in and be like, no, that's denim. Like I have a bodysuit on. You can't see
mine
anything.
Was not denim.
Mine was all denim and they still have the same comments. So
mine was in fact not denim and I did delete the video. So
but that's a hard decision. I feel for you.
It's that's my okay
to the world. We send snaps. So Lance and I keep our home conversations are separate. Like run the house conversations are separate from work and sex conversations. And we have a lot of fun sexting each other. Like pretty much nonstop. Like I'll leave this today with 3 or 4 of his naughty thoughts of the day, which I think is so fun. Highly recommend in a marriage. Sext each other. And we had a time where he sent something that was meant for me to our 16-year-old because we use Snap to chat to like search her location. Now, homegirl knows we like each other. This is not a surprise, but it was kind of like a, hey, do you want to play around tonight? And luckily it was on the G scale for our messages. And she was like, are you freaking kidding me? She comes in, she's like, this is not okay. So that was our whoops.
Oh,
sorry,
like
child.
Jovi walked in on us when she was like 2.
Yeah, like it's
and then
inevitable.
She grabbed the pillow and was like, "My turn, mommy." I was like, "Oh, geez, that was not. Nope.
Please,
no." Josh was like devastated. He's
give
like,
her enough memories to bury that one forever.
So what happened when people, like in Utah? Because I feel like initially you kept it hid pretty good.
Yeah.
So what happened when you were like, "Fuck it," and then like everybody found out?
So we started DMing the link, so it wasn't anywhere. You wouldn't know unless I told you myself. Then I decided, like, I was pretty confident about it. It hadn't ruined my marriage. I'd been doing it for a while. And I was like, you know what? Fuck it. Let's put the link up. Like, let's try it for a day. And we'd had the conversation, like, okay, let's play out worst case scenario. Everyone is going to find out, period. We put it up and, okay, so I talked to my sister. I got permission to share this story. When my family found out, I was actually back in Utah. for a wedding, and my family had just learned about it, sent anger waves through the family, the gasping, but none of it. My family plays nice in person. Everything's to each other, right? The sister group chat without me is blowing up, whatnot. My younger sister went to her boyfriend at the time, was like, I can't believe this is what's happening in my family. Now, she and I are crazy close. Like, in a large family, you kind of grow up raising each other to some extent, because it's impossible for two parents to deal with 10 kids alone.
Yeah.
Her and I, like, we have a very strange sister-mom relationship. We were best friends, and she tells her boyfriend that I have this page, and he immediately went and subscribed.
Awkward.
So he fesses up to her that he's like looked at me, and now there's this like thing in her relationship. And she's such a sweetheart. Like, we've talked about it ad nauseum. We are good. Like, we're still best friends.
Yeah.
But for a little while, it became very difficult of like, is she blaming me that he broke her trust?
Yeah.
How does she deal with this with him? They've been dating for a while. They were pretty serious of like, now every time the three of us are in a room together, it's a problem. Like, I was friends with him.
Yeah.
And so that one was pretty rough, on like a very close personal note.
Yeah.
In the long run, he was not right for her anyway. Other things were in the way. They broke up, and we were able to talk about it, but I could not imagine, like, had things gone differently, that probably would have cost me my relationship with my sister.
Yeah.
So that is something you have to recognize. Like, you take that risk as soon as it becomes public, that some neighbor's husband is going to look and I get blamed that he broke trust. But I really hit the point where, like, no, like, we're living an authentic life. I'm true to myself. Lance trusts me. I trust Lance. We're making these decisions together, and we are leading our lives in a way that, like, I'm not trying to seek other people's approval. And at the end of the day, I've done a lot of soul searching. I've done a lot of internal work, and I like who I am. And if this is the deal breaker for us, then that's it. Like, if you don't know me well enough first to know, like, the conversation you and I are having right now might be about sex, but it should be as comfortable as it was when we were talking waffles in 2015, right?
Yeah.
That's the goal. It's like, I'm a whole ass person outside of it. So I just kind of, fuck it. We put it up. I had a message from a neighbor who's a good friend. We're raising our kids together, and we'd moved away. That was, you know, I can't believe you would do this. Like, we defended you. This is horrible. And so it sucks to have to write the message of like, I'm really sorry that this has hurt you. I appreciate you defending me. That's super kind of you, but I'm good where I am. And it's weird to be like, sorry, not sorry. Like, I don't know why you take this personally. This is my life and my decision. Yeah. So that's a weird one to deal with.
Do you think it's weird that I get treated the same way and I'm not even doing OnlyFans?
I think, unfortunately, we are so repressed about sex in the United States as a whole that anything kind of remotely the same, we're all going to get treated the same.
Yeah.
It is nice to know got people in the club who get it.
Well, it's weird too, because a dynamic that's really, really rough that I've been to lots of therapy over, it's pretty fresh. This would make sense, like, in your dynamic, right? Like, you just started doing it one day, right? It's not like I was a dental assistant and then I showed up in a sex swing, right? It's like, I've done this for 20 years. Right. And the whole time you've known me in our entire relationship, I've done this for 20 years. Like, why all of a sudden is it not okay? Like, that's what's weird.
The difference is you were in people's homes. You were where they were comfortable, where the people who knew what you were doing came knowing what they were getting into. And people don't want to be faced with having a question. But I also feel like I've come across a lot of women who want to read their smut, which I think is great. Yeah. They want to watch the live version. Like, have you ever watched Outlander?
No, I can't get into it.
So I've read the books. I have a bunch of friends who are super fans. The fandom is outside of anything I've ever seen, but like, they have full nudity in Outlander and sex scenes that are pretty intense, and you don't get to say that that's okay and your husband watching a porn is not, right? So that's like the juxtaposition. But I think your page got popular, you kept fighting, and you haven't gone away. And so I don't know that it is different, okay or not, but people have a public place to call you out. They can't call you out about doing a party at Cheryl's house at the weekend because they weren't invited.
I think it's because it got so big so fast.
Right. But I think it's also okay to recognize that it's still necessary. It is necessary that we get told that you get to have your own body and your own things. And honestly, that conversation has to start with our kids. Unfortunately, not tell your kids to do porn, but that like sex is part of life. And like, I have teenage boys going through puberty. You would not believe the conversations we've had to have recently. fun fact, then they found a vibrator. So we've had some fun conversations recently.
Yeah, but it's
Whoopsie,
healthy.
whoopsie.
It's important though.
But
you
they
know?
need to know too, like how many men, I've seen it in your comments. Why would a man buy his girl a vibrator? Like, I don't want to compete with a vibrator.
You're not competing with
it's
a
like,
vibrator.
you dumbass.
I know.
This is like a toy. Her body should be one of your toys. And this is a teammate on the team of toys.
And it just helps. Yeah. The whole, and I mean, there's actual, I've talked about it before on the podcast, like scientific, like findings. There was a sexologist that was talking about it. Sex therapists, people that come into her clinic, you know, husband and wife and women that have gone through perimenopause or menopause, and like just how their body is built and the nerve endings and how they're firing, you get to a point that you have to be using a vibrator. And this has nothing to say about his ego. And this has everything to say about, I'm like slaughtering it right now. Like I have.
Do you want her to receive pleasure?
Yes.
Because what you were doing before doesn't work the same anymore.
It doesn't.
So I've done a lot of work with a med spa, and I've learned a lot about hormone replacement therapy and stuff. And when you hear the stories of women going through it, and that's why I think maybe it's more important now than ever that you're doing what you are. And not to say that I'm part of that. I will not classify myself in that, outside of maybe that I'm a safe place to ask questions. Right. So like last week I put on there as a joke, like, hey, not a joke, but it was like a whole long story from a reel that kind of spiraled out of control. And then I was like, let's keep it going. But I put like, you guys had some crazy questions in DMs and in comments to this reel. Do you guys really not have a safe place to ask questions?
No, they don't.
And it was insane the number of DMs I got off of that one thing. And so I opened up on my stories, like, if you could ask anything, what would you ask?
I
right.
do that all the time.
And when you do those, in the beginning, it was like, oh, what size are your boobs?
Yeah.
This was not that. This was men who said, my wife doesn't want me to touch her.
Yeah.
How do I support her? Where do I start? Or I really, really want to eat out my wife, but we've been together 12 years and I've never asked. How do you ask? You know, like there has to be a place to have these discussions.
Well, and that's what keeps me going, because I mean, there's a different type of pain when you have people in your life who you think are your people. And then after years of being your people, they just cut you off and treat you like you're an embarrassment. But then you open your DMs and it's a couple that's been married for 30 years and they were on the verge of divorce. And because of your content, they were able to start communicating and try new things. Or you helped my wife be not shameful about her body. And it's those messages that I get over and over and over again that like, I'm gonna cry talking about it. Like I have to realize like I am doing the right thing.
It's so needed.
Like I feel like I am climbing a very hard mountain right now.
For sure.
And I have to keep telling myself that somebody needs what I'm doing. And you and I are on two totally different ends of the spectrum, but I would like to say that we do very similar type of dynamics of helping these people no matter what the spectrum is, right?
Yeah. And there are older couples, like I said, Lance and I've been together 18 years, and there are other couples who need to see like, hey, we don't want to watch young kids, but we need some kind of foreplay because the fire is dying. Like there has to be a place for that. And if everyone is upset about porn representing something unrealistic, guess what? My page is not. Everything about it is incredibly real. There aren't fake orgasms. There aren't fake sounds. There's no baby talk like, oh, fuck me, daddy. That's not our thing. I'm not going to do it. It's not what would happen in our sex
90%
life.
90% of it's fake. Like they literally make, this is crazy. I know this
Oh,
because
I
I'm
know.
attached. They make like dildos that like spray fake
Yep.
cum. Like it's not even real.
Yep.
Sorry guys, breaking it to you. But yeah, so that's.
But if you want to see real stuff, come to my page.
This is her handle. We will share that. Okay. I'm going to get into the DMs. Me and you and I, you're going to have to come back because we could talk forever. And I know
totally.
when this comes out, I'm going to get all the questions from all the people.
I will love it.
We'll just go in. So I always ask DMs. So I'm going to ask them. You can answer it. I can answer it. It's just people ask me random things.
Beautiful.
I say I may have somebody from OnlyFans on my page. This is the stuff I get. So I have been dreaming about selling everything and starting over. Oh, this is not OnlyFans. It's just wanting to get rid of stuff. So for 2 years, a different city, a different life, something that actually feels like mine, but I'm scared. How do you actually do it?
Well, okay, so I'm broken. The fear factor doesn't really exist for me because I'm always I would rather try it and fail than wonder what if. Yeah. So that's to start out with, like that fear. But that doesn't mean that fear, like when we sold everything, like you know that it could crash and burn. But here's how I make decisions like that. Let's play out your worst case scenario. Yeah. All the things you sell are just things. You can buy new things, right? So you sell everything. You leave the city. You pick somewhere else. You start new and you hate it. Give yourself a year. And if you still hate it, you can move back. Like, I think people forget that decisions are not forever. Mm-hmm. Like, yes, I'm doing OnlyFans today. I will probably not do it forever. 5 years ago, I was an active Mormon. So like, the decisions you make aren't that permanent. We put so much stress on ourselves about a decision that it doesn't matter in the most beautiful way. That's not a bad thing. Yeah. We need to release yourself from like all the weight. Get a job. There's always new jobs. There's always new places to move. There's new people waiting for you, but you'll never know till you go. Like, what's your worst case scenario?
I never thought I was ever going to leave pure romance. Like, I never thought I was never going to not do parties. Right. Like, you know what I mean? And like, here I am. So you don't know unless you try. Okay. My girlfriend wants to start an OnlyFans and I'm trying to be supportive, but I'm honestly struggling with it. I don't want to be the reason she doesn't do something that could help us financially, but I'm also not okay and don't know how to say that.
My advice is if both of you are not on board, it doesn't work.
No.
On top of that, it will make it a little bit easier of a different conversation to have. If she doesn't have a platform already to drive traffic, you will take all of the risk with none of the reward. Yeah. She will completely put herself out there and it will not work if she doesn't have somewhere to drive the traffic. So the risk for me was worth it because I had enough followers and demand already. If you don't have that, and that's not because I'm something special, but I built it first, right? If you don't already have that, you can't just start out of nowhere and then expect to be in the top income earners, and especially if you're doing it for income. I did not start for an income reason, and it would add so much extra stress if you relied on that.
Yeah.
But if you can't talk about it now, it's only going to get worse when you see what people send her. Like, people are going to fantasize about your girlfriend, and that's what the gig is. It's selling the fantasy and the fun. My husband is 100% behind the fantasy, and we have fun with it. We want to be included in it, right? Like, if that's not okay with you, it's uncomfortable to start things. But my biggest thing in any relationship is the uncomfortable conversations need to come first.
Oh, absolutely.
Everything you put off is just going to get ruined. Like, there's not worth it. And I know you talk about like going to therapy with Josh and stuff. Lance and I have never been, but we are painfully open with each other.
Yeah.
They're like, literally there's nothing that a therapist would be like, well, have you talked about this before? That one of us would be like, we were holding back. And it sucks sometimes and you have to fight it out sometimes, but it is so worth it. So the conversation starts like this. Hey, I love you. You're beautiful. I'm sure that you would do an amazing job on OnlyFans. I think I might be too insecure. Could we have that conversation?
Yeah. It's a healthy way of delivering that. Yeah. I love that. Okay. Covet this. I always do this. So I always do a this week's covet this. So, I think you need to try this. Like I know that's creepy. It's like, I thought of Bethany.
Nope.
But, it's a butt plug that I talk about all the time. I don't know if you're into butt plugs.
Your boat one?
The boat one. Yes.
Yeah. I was going to ask you.
Yeah. So it lights up. Casey, you might have to edit this. Will you throw it to me? Pink box.
You go and swim
over here to the left. You'll see it by the spray bottle. Nope. Yep. See where the hydro drug box is? Pink box. Do you see it right there? Yep. That's it.
How do you store all of these? Will you please come up with a storage?
Do you see this?
I know, like, I need a toy storage, because I'm pushing some 30 toys, like filing cabinet of toys, please.
There's actually something I saw recently, but I'm trying to like collab with them. I'll give you the info. Okay. I'll let Casey edit that out. I think it'd be funny if he's grabbing the butt plug. Okay. So this is it. Let me tell you why this is awesome, because there's a lot of butt plugs that people are like, hard pass, because they're too big, too uncomfortable. This one, so it has a flared base, but it's flat. So you can like wear this out on the boat.
Okay. Because I saw your boat and I was like, but how is that? Oh, okay.
See, and it lights up. Look at that. It's like a disco party.
And so that's on your front.
No, it actually is just like a little tail. I mean, you could try, but I don't know if it would really. But yeah, it's a good little, and it's ran by an app. You can wear it to a concert.
Look at the rainbow.
I know. You can wear it to a concert.
It's so cute.
Like, and it'll go with the music.
Shut up.
Dead serious. So that is today's covet this. Okay. It is the light up lush anal. I always say the code word on my videos is starfish on that, because chocolate starfish. But I really think you need to try that one, because let's close the distance, and have a butt plug dance party. I think you'd get some great content with that,
I have quite the collection, but I don't have one that looks
you
like
don't have
this.
one like that.
I know.
Like,
I
you
gotta
can
add
walk
to
around
it.
in that.
Yeah, because the ones I have right now, that I would like, if you leave the kitchen area, it's gonna fall.
Yeah, you can move.
Either that or stab you a little.
Or stab you a little. Okay. So I always give the Law of Cassidy at the end, and then I'm going to give you an opportunity to say any last little that you might want to say. Okay. So today's Law of Cassidy is Bethany grew up being handed a map, correct? And she was fine with getting lost. She's like, I don't want the map. Faith, community, a restaurant, a life that fit the mold. And one day she looked at the map and decided it wasn't for her. So I love you because you don't ask for permission. You just do. And you do it beautifully with confidence and trust and a strength in a marriage, which for some people it's possible with the proper communication, right? Mm-hmm. And she didn't wait for everyone to understand. She made the decision, lived with the consequences, and built something that could only exist because she was brave enough to stop performing someone else's life. And I love that for you. Like, that's awesome. So you have your life, live your life. That's the law. What else do you want to say?
It's just not that fucking serious.
It's not. It's just a butt plug.
Like, seriously, your body has nerves. Use them however you want.
Yeah.
It's not that serious.
Thanks for being open. Thanks for sharing your story. I know I'm going to get so many questions. I tried to ask the juicy questions that you all wanted to know. So.
And you can ask them in my
Yeah, go
DMs.
ahead. Share your plugs.
Yeah. So you can find me on Instagram at The Old Travel Lady, on TikTok and YouTube as well. Then on OnlyFans, I'm on OnlyFans as the Hiking MILF, MYLF, the mom you would like to fuck. And
I don't know why that makes me giggle.
You show up in my DMs, tell me you found me on the Law of Cassidy. I'll send you a little something of your own.
Yeah. Thanks, guys. We'll see you next time.
It's so fun.